you, all three of you.
Comes with age.
Okay, very good. It's the hour, so I call the planning board meeting for July 5th, 2022 to order at 6:02. Okay, first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I have public comment here. If anybody would like to make a comment on something other than what's on the agenda tonight, for the public hearing, you'll be given a chance to speak on that when the hearing comes up. No public comment? I just want to mention that you're more than allowed to record the meeting. You just have to let the chair know. No, don't see anybody recording. So we have minutes of 6/21/22, but the minutes are not prepared yet. So next item on the hearing is, well, we got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, the meeting's slated to start at 6:05, and we're not allowed by law to start a meeting before 6:05, so we just have another 2 minutes to wait. Okay, do we have anything else on the agenda we can take up? Nothing besides adjournment?
No, nothing, just this.
No public comment, so talk amongst yourselves. Okay, very good. My phone has 6:05. What we have next on the agenda is a public hearing for a reduced frontage lot on Doyle Avenue. First, I have to read the public hearing notice. Notice is hereby given that the Winchendon Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 5th, 2022 at 6:05 p.m. to consider the request for a special permit for a reduced frontage lot. Property is identified as Doyle Avenue, Winchendon, Assessors Map 8, Parcel 6, owned by Asher Construction, LLC. Said property is located in the R80 Rural Residential District. Lot, which the reduced frontage special permit is requested, is just south of 35 Doyle Avenue, as identified as Map 8, Parcel 8, owned by Russell and Barbara Hughes. The hearing will be held in the second floor auditorium of the Winchendon Town Hall, 109 Front Street. Information is available in the Winchendon Planning and Development Office. All interested persons should plan to attend. Alternative translations and accommodations are available by advance request by contacting the Planning and Development Department at least 3 days in advance. And with the reading of the notice, I call the hearing open at 6:05. Okay, very good. Please introduce yourself, Trevor. You're speaking for the applicant, I take it?
Yep. Yeah, Trevor Fletcher. I'm the engineer on the project with Graz Engineering. We were working with Asher Construction. This is a reduced frontage application for the remainder of Map 8 Lot 6, which we just went through the A&R process last meeting. We went through and went through all the appropriate frontage and appropriate area lots, and then we had this remainder one with 67.6 feet of frontage on Doyle Ave, and we gave it the rest of the area just so that it had plenty of room to put, a house somewhere on the lot. Currently, that location is up front on the lot, and just kind of behind the access there. The applicant didn't want to put a very, very long driveway in, minimize cost, minimize disturbance on the lot. And so yeah, the remainder of the lot is just going to be left up to the prospective buyer, whatever they want to do with it. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're doing here, just reduced frontage lot for a single-family house.
Okay, very good. As you mentioned, what the buyer wants to do with the lot, you realize that with this special permit, he is not allowed to subdivide that lot.
Oh, yeah, no.
again.
Yeah, I don't even think they'll be able to, because he's gonna need the frontage, the 50 feet of frontage for
Well,
his
he
own
wouldn't-
house, so.
He wouldn't be able to make even a subdivision on that because of our bylaws.
Yeah,
That just has to be a single family or single whatever home.
yeah.
Okay. Very good. Do you have any comments, Nicole?
I do not. I know whether or not it was subdividable was a concern of some of the abutters, but, that was clarified in our zoning bylaws for reduced frontage lot.
Okay, any of the board members, do you have any questions?
No, I just want to see what the abutters have to say.
Yeah. Okay, and if... And of course, this lot meets, well, never mind, I'll move on. Okay, do you have anything else to say, Trevor, before I...
No, not really.
Okay, very good. If anybody of the public would like to come up and ask questions, make comments, please feel free to come up. Sit by the microphone. You just have to sign your name and, say who you are. Okay, very good. Okay, over there on the sheet.
And I want to just make mention, too, there is a large plan located over on the table there, if you want to take a look at a large set of plans.
Yeah, normally we'd have it up on the screen, but another committee stole the computer, so. I know.
I was like, where?
Oh, feel free.
See if I can answer any. Is there anything I can help you guys? So this one right here has 67 feet frontage right here. So they're just, this is just a reduced frontage, so it's closer to this whole process. And right here, okay, yeah. Yeah, so the driveway's gonna come in right here, and then the house is probably gonna be somewhere.
If this is getting too involved, I'll
Okay.
have him.
Yep.
Trevor, could you come over here, bring the plan over, and maybe that way it's be picked
Yeah,
up by the, so everybody
Yeah,
can hear
picked up by the
what you're
microphone.
saying.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Not having the screen makes it a little, getting used to the screen, so.
Yeah.
This is how far away is he gonna be?
And please, speak into the microphone, when you ask Trevor a question or,
What is normally the frontage required by the town?
The frontage required in the R80 Rural Residential District is 200 feet.
It is 200,
Yes.
that's what I thought.
and the minimum is 50.
Okay, oh,
When you're going for a, reduced frontage,
Yeah.
and its minimum is 50?
yeah.
And with that reduced frontage lot, it's required that you have to have 3 times the area, which would bring it up to 240,000,
Yes.
which
Yep.
we got 40 acres back there, so
So how much tree land is gonna be taken down?
The tree land, I'm not sure whether
I
they're
don't
gonna
want to look
log
out my
it.
back
No.
window and see a
I'm
house.
sorry, could you speak into the microphone and move the
Oh,
microphone?
I'm just saying, I don't want to have to look out my back windows and see a house right there.
I'm not the builder on the project. We're just, subdividing the lot as the applicant wants it to be. And per the regulations, everything's okay with this, so.
So, my name is Russell Hughes, I live at 35 Doyle Ave. So what you're saying is, we're here to just see what's gonna happen, or are we here because we have a chance to say no?
Well, I mean, the special permit process is here for a reason. They're gonna listen to both of us speak, and, the plan that I presented is within the zoning bylaws, and so we're just kinda,
Putting it out there?
yep, pretty much, and then the board's gonna vote on it, whether or not, feel
What
like.
board? This board?
This board, correct. And,
Is there gonna be a driveway directed to that property?
correct, yeah, it's gonna come right through the pipe stem of the reduced frontage area and come right there, and then the house is gonna be as far left as possible.
Will that road be able to continue at some point beyond that house?
No, I mean, if he wants to put a little path out, dirt bike paths or whatever, I'm sure that, there will.
Well,
they
I'm
could-
sure Dean means, they're
A
gonna
road
be able to
going
go out the
to that
back
property?
No, no, no,
and then
no.
put another house
no.
and look for
No.
frontage and...
Every house needs frontage on a public way, and so this is using the last 60 feet of the public way, so no further houses can be constructed in the back there, unless somehow, some way there was a road put in through, but if all these houses are built, there's not gonna be any access from any of these.
So I had some concern on my property line on that side.
Okay.
I saw the pin in the wall. There's a pin in the wall there. It's a little discretion there. I don't know how true you hunt or programs like that, but it did show my property from the back corner where the big tree is, there's a marker. It goes straight back, but yours goes at an angle, so it's like I'm losing some land there. Has that far corner post been verified?
Let's see if I can see. I'll show you where it is. So yeah, there's a pin found right here in the front
This
left
one,
corner.
no, this one I mean. This one
That
here's at a big tree, and see how that goes there, then it goes out straight?
Yeah.
Well, your pin is over here. It's not over there.
Yeah, I have to
So,
look.
that's the discretion, that pin, right on that corner of, what is that?
Yeah, that I'm not worried about. It's the other end
478.
of the property
Yeah.
I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know you had a plan on record, and I think we kept the geometry, we held the geometry of your plan for this. But I could definitely double check that and make sure there's no discrepancy. If there is a discrepancy, we can look at it and have another plan recorded with the correct dimensions. But I believe this is true to the plan that's recorded. for
Actually,
your
wait a
lot.
minute, am I looking the right way?
I believe so, yeah. So this is north, so Hale Street's up here.
Oh,
and
no,
Hitchcock's
no,
down here.
I'm going the wrong way.
Okay.
It's
That
this
one.
pin,
Okay,
the IPF pin.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm worried
yeah,
about.
so your front left.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe it was called for on the plan that's recorded for your lot.
Okay.
And so we located that, and then I believe we just held the geometry of the plan that's recorded, and we kind of held, the stone wall seemed to be the rear of the property.
yeah, it was, we walked it.
Yeah.
Right, and like I said, back there is a big tree with
Okay.
a pin and with a stake, and it's all marked. So the driveway will be right there or on this side of it?
No, it's gonna come right through this pipe stem right through here.
Now, why do you
And,
say pipe stem?
That's general term when they're talking about reduced frontage. The
Oh, all
pipe-
right,
pipe
there's
stem is
no,
just-
okay,
It's what the shape is, it's a
Right.
pipe stem that branches out eventually.
okay. So can you tell me what that distance is?
This is a 200-foot building circle diameter, so, that's 100 feet, so 150 feet at least going
So
up there.
what size house?
Give you an idea.
Is this like the ones,
Typically, he constructs, colonials, the
well,
2036.
colonial can be like the ones on
Yeah.
Hale Street, but colonials can be like the ones on,
Yeah.
Rutherford Ave.
So this is what I'm proposing here. This is the topography plan and everything like that. This is your property line here on the stone wall. So I think I even shifted, the house, so the house on this plan is like right like that, almost.
What's that?
With a septic out back like that. So that's kind of what we're proposing. So it's not gonna be right in the backyard, because, I mean, you got a lot of topography going up there, so that's not really good, you know.
Yeah.
Getting up there is really tough, you know?
Right,
So
right.
we're proposing the house,
Yes.
trying to stay on the same
It is.
topography out here, and then having the septic
I'm
out
not
back
happy
to make it
about
all
this
look
whole thing.
crafty.
Okay, right, yeah, because I see it goes down.
So
Yeah.
it's not gonna, and I believe your house is here on this lot too. So that's gonna be your house right there, approximately,
Yeah,
give or take.
right.
So, I mean,
Right.
it's shifted over. I mean, all this land, yeah, it'll have a house kind of behind it, but
We're at
there is a
245
decent
Hale.
amount
We're on the
of,
other side,
woods
so
that
we're like
should remain
on
undisturbed.
like the corner of the lot.
I need you to speak into the, or, you know,
Okay, all set, I get it. Yep.
okay.
Excuse
Yeah, I
me.
just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we thought we were talking about down here, and
Okay,
then we
yeah.
thought we were talking about here, and,
Could you, sir, could you please sign in?
Yeah, right.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yep.
So we can hear that whole conversation, so hopefully I don't ask more additional questions, but,
That's okay.
You can have a
Do you-
seat if you'd like. If you,
Yeah.
it might be easier to speak into the mic if you just have a seat.
Yeah, and just
bring it
let
right
us know
towards
your
you.
name.
oh, Teresa Fife. Teresa Feifel, 245 Hale. Do you already have a buyer for that? Or
I'm
you're
not-
just in the process of splitting it up so you can sell?
I think right now it's under the process so that he can sell it once it's approved. But I don't believe he has a buyer currently, no.
Okay. And you guys said that the way, if this is approved tonight, that they definitely can't subdivide now or in the future, whoever buys it?
Well, within our Town of Winchendon zoning bylaws, on 7.3.3, A11, once approved as a reduced frontage lot, such lot shall not be subsequently subdivided nor be approved by variance for other than single-family residential use.
So as of right now with the current bylaws, it can't be subdivided.
Can't be subdivided.
Right. It would only be if somebody changed and improved the bylaws.
Town meeting
Going
changed the
forward.
bylaws.
Okay. And I think I verified, but I want to make sure, the railroad tracks which abut all of these, those are not owned by you guys or future owners, correct? That's still,
Correct. That is owned by New England Power Company still.
okay, so that's still kind of, you know, public,
Correct, yep.
okay. And what about the disruption to the wetlands? There's a lot of water that runs down through there, and we've already seen, and not saying anybody did anything, but the beaver dam and all the water is very, very low, and we've never seen it even in the summer that low.
Really?
So we're just
Yeah.
hoping nobody did anything, but just want to know, since so much goes through there.
Yeah.
And so all this down here is very, very low.
So the beaver dam in question, is that down here in the swamp?
That's, right, it affects like all of here, like this whole, like, there's a lot of water down here at the base next to the railroad tracks.
Oh, the railroad tracks are over here.
Oh, I'm sorry, see, I'm looking at it backwards.
No worries.
Sorry. So yes, like all the water, is this all water
Yeah,
outlined
this is
down
all-
here?
This is all the swamp
Yeah.
right here and opens up, and this is the swamp that borders Doyle Ave. Right?
Yeah, so the beaver dam's somewhere down
Yeah,
here.
nothing has been touched over there.
Okay.
It's been real dry this spring. That might have something to do with it. And we had like the wettest summer ever last year, so it could be a very vast difference. But the only digging that's been taking place on this lot has just been for soil evaluation to make sure that the soil's suitable for septic systems and all that. And that's been done at the front of the lots, and it's required to be at least, I think, 50 feet away. It cannot be disturbed in the town of Winchendon. They have a no disturb zone 50 feet around the wetlands, so that is the extent of that.
And since we're looking at all the lots, I just have a quick question, if you could, about these. So for these other lots that go from Doyle all the way back
Yep.
to the railroad tracks, where are the houses going to be?
So the houses
Do
for,
they have to be on the Doyle edge?
yeah, well, kind of,
Now,
sort of.
Would you give her a quick answer on that, because
Yeah, yeah.
that's
we're
right.
not
our
doing that.
subject from.
The houses are
Yeah.
gonna be like right in here. And you can't have more than one wetland crossing, so this is kind of your dividing line. Nothing can be done past this, and it's really, really steep down there, so all the work's gonna be done right here
Okay,
on
so
these two
the,
lots.
so there won't be any type of like road going into all
No,
these?
God,
It'll all
no,
be from,
no.
okay,
The only thing that's gonna be,
All right.
get close to the railroad tracks are these two houses right here, and they'll be up front.
okay. So where that spot lies now, there's no disruption of like wetland or anything? It's already been looked at in that
Nope.
area
The only thing
approved?
that, has to go through the conservation is anything done within the 100-foot buffer of this or any other wetland is gonna have individual conservation filings. And so, if you're in a butter for that, you'll be notified about that, and you can attend the meeting or just contact our office. We can send you a PDF, and that has more details of where the houses are gonna be built, where the septic's gonna be, and all that stuff, so.
Okay. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
This leftover parcel,
Yep.
40 acres, is this ever gonna be buildable?
So yeah, the building, this is kind of the plan that we got right here. So the house is proposed to be in this building circle right here. So it's right here. So it can't be further expanded on once a single-family house is on it.
Yeah.
It can't be further subdivided past that point because it's considered a reduced frontage lot in Winchendon bylaws.
And there's no roads around this piece?
Correct. Nope, nope. It's just gonna be the house right up front. You might put walking trails or whatever the owner wants to do, but no further development can happen, no.
Okay, so how many acres is associated with this lot?
40 acres, 40.6
Is, with this
acres.
just one house?
That just one house,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. So the whole parcel's 85 acres.
Right,
and,
right.
So each one has about, 5 to 9, and that last one was left with 40.
Okay, so this person's gonna actually own the whole lot?
Correct, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yep.
okay.
Mike, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions.
Okay, very good. Could you come up? I don't see much of you anymore, so we'll get you on camera.
I got a couple of questions. The first one, I guess, being if you got a 90-acre parcel, why do you need a frontage exception lot?
Why do you need an
Why would you need a frontage exception lot with a 90-acre parcel?
for a reduced frontage lot?
Yeah.
Because there's not enough frontage on that.
Because he created the hardship. That was my
Correct.
next question. Can you create the hardship?
It's not a hardship.
Frontage
uh,
exception lot's not a hardship?
No.
It's a special permit.
Yeah, it's a special
special
permit, but
hardship.
not a hardship.
But it's not a hardship.
A hardship would
allowed.
be, they'd be going for a variance on something like that.
Well, regardless, call it what you want. There's enough frontage on these other lots that he could put the 200-foot of frontage in and still get that large parcel in the back. I think what he's done is he's created the need for the frontage exception lot. That was my question. Can you do that?
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, and the reason for the kind of shifting, and some lots have more than the frontage, but it was all to reduce the wetland impacts, where the houses are gonna go and all that.
Not to reduce the wetland impact. I didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday. You're doing it because of the wetlands. You're squeezing it down to gain another lot.
Well, not,
Developers don't care about the wetlands. They do if they could get 10 more houses in there, he'd try to get 10 more houses in there. It's nothing to do with the impact of the wetland as far as I'm concerned. I think, like I say, you got a 90-acre parcel. I don't understand the need to try to get a reduced frontage lot.
realistically, if he did want to squeeze as many lots as he could, he would put a road through there and subdivide it that way, but
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
Why wouldn't he?
Because in Winchendon, you gotta build a road, and you gotta go before a town meeting and get it accepted before you get a building permit.
Correct, but that's the only way to maximize the amount of lots you
I
can get. from the
realize that,
parcel.
and I'm saying developers won't do it. They haven't done the subdivision in this town for, I don't know, 18, 19 years, I think the last subdivision was built here. So, I mean, that's,
Not very
I
often.
just think with a large parcel like that, you could, I don't understand the need to get a frontage exception lot, or a reduced frontage lot, or whatever you wanna call it. I mean, down here, this lot's got almost 700 feet of frontage.
Correct, but
between the two.
there's a lot of wetlands down there, and there's no
I
place to build
agree,
a house.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it's probably not the best place to have a house. But again, I guess you can create it so that,
Yeah, then they can come and ask for it, yes. I can't see that, you don't know of anything that says they can't do it.
No, nothing.
And a developer, as you know, Mike, a developer will do anything that they can do. A developer will do anything they can do to maximize their,
oh, I understand that,
Yeah.
but, you know, when you're seeking a special permit, I just think that, you know, they'd be held maybe to a little higher standard or something. I mean, it's a 90-acre parcel. What's the reason for having a 50-foot frontage?
because they're allowed to do it, I imagine. I can't tell you what he was thinking at the time. I can just,
Oh, I know, I mean,
imagine.
I
Just,
know.
there's just a lot of backland that just doesn't have any frontage associated with it. So we have the reduced frontage application in the bylaws, so that's what we did to utilize that 40 acres and gain one more lot. I mean, it's kind of, it's
You got
standard.
You got 50 feet of frontage, you can't squeeze any of these other lots down to gain that other 150 feet? And make that one lot including the 200 feet of frontage?
No, not with Winchendon's conservation bylaws. They got a 75-foot no build and a 50-foot no disturb. So if I shifted this line over a little bit, then the access for this lot goes away. And then I had to have this lot be right here with a minimized to have a wetland crossing here. There's a lot that goes into when you're planning all these lots.
Understand.
And originally, we had 3 lots down here, but we decided to split this off in 2 and we actually had the reduced frontage lot down here at first, and I tried to put the house back here because this was supposed to be the best soil. Turns out that wasn't the case, and so we shifted it around, only 2 lots here, and then we put the last lot up there. It's just, you gotta, when you're subdividing, you just gotta utilize the frontage as best as you can. And then on this lot, we had the exact opposite problem. We had too much frontage and not enough area. So when we went through that whole one, it was kind of a different story on that. That's why that one didn't have any reduced frontage lots, because you had more frontage than you did area. So it's just, when you have that, 40 acres left over that doesn't have frontage directly behind, right in front of it or behind it, however you want to look at it.
I understand. My point being, you created that.
The existing,
You know,
the parcel
You did because
exists.
you're working around the wetlands, basically, is
Yeah,
what you're doing.
and the parcel exists as it exists. I mean, if we had subdivided it prior and, I mean, once before, maybe that would be considered generating a hardship. This parcel just exists as it does. So it's kind of, we're working with what we got rather than creating our own hardship.
Your own hardship.
What's that?
You just said you created, you don't want to create
No,
your own
no.
hardship, but you're creating one for me.
Well, technically having a house.
What about power? How are they gonna get, you gonna put a pole in my
So
yard?
they're already in contact with National Grid, and they were backed up quite a few months. I think when they initially talked to them, it was like they were 6 months behind, so they are in talks with National Grid about getting power spread down the road there.
And just going back to your question about the reduced frontage, our bylaws, and as I was reading here, allow them to take a lot and make one of them a reduced, when they subdivide it, make one of them a reduced frontage. So in other words, they could take that lot and, they make one a reduced frontage from that whole 90 acres.
No, I still contend, he created it, I mean, he could still have this 40 acres, utilize it with a 200-foot frontage here. He gets one less lot, he
Yeah.
gets one less lot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but the bylaw says they
Yeah.
can do this.
So let me ask one final question.
Sure.
Does it matter any of our opinions here today? Do you take it into account?
We do take them into account.
Okay.
But the
But
law
we're
is
not
the law,
voting, you
but
are,
a special permit is we can put restrictions on it. It's very tough for us to deny it. So if you say, we can put some restriction on it, for whatever, with a special permit, that's what a special permit is, to consider.
So if you are going to pass this, whether our opinions matter or not, what restrictions could you put on that land to disrupt the wetlands and wildlife less?
Well, conservation won't allow them to disrupt the wetlands unless conservation thinks it's a good idea. I don't know of any restrictions that we could put on it, but if somebody has a suggestion, I'd be glad to listen to it. You know, it's a pretty, you know, cut and dry by the bylaw, you know, and we just go by the laws. We
Well,
don't-
right
it's not
now,
a-
they have a house in the circle where it's proposed that they're gonna be building. Does it need to be there and approved there, or can they
So-
change that at any time
Yes.
and build
Ye-
much
yes.
further close to the wetlands?
Yes, the house does need to be within that circle as approved, if it does get approved tonight. And you can issue special conditions. And keep in mind, too, by approving this special frontage lot, it still has to go through the building department process. It still has to go through the building permit process. It still has to go through conservation if that applies, depending on the wetlands and what's affected. So it still goes through all the town processes, Board of Health, building, conservation. So it's not just they get permission to just build this house right here. Asher Construction is seeking permission for a reduced frontage lot, and that happens to be where that house circle is presented on the lot, and so it needs to be built within there, but they still need to go through all the processes that everybody else would need to if they didn't have a reduced frontage lot, or if they did.
And just a quick question, since I know this is separate from the others, but it's kind of all related, with the water levels being so low down there, like we've never seen, I don't know what the conservation or others have said about even perking those if houses would have issues in the future, or really what happened to the water. That's our biggest question. So we've walked around there numerous times and we've never seen the water so low. And it's a big concern.
So you're talking about like the ability for the septics to operate?
All the wetlands down there, yeah, of like, number one, we're just really like wondering, like thinking something happened because we've never seen the water so low, even in the summer. And it's just very strange. And knowing that the water is very low and it could potentially come back up again, I mean, people could have issues with their septic.
So it doesn't really have anything to do with the reduced frontage lot, but when we're doing septic soil evaluation, it's not based on where the water level is currently. There's ways to tell where the groundwater comes up to. It's soil modeling. The soil gets rusty and, you know, the color depletes out of it if water comes up and down, up and down. Throughout the site, it's about, you know, anywhere between like 24 to like 36 inches is how far the water comes up throughout the whole lot. So those septics have to be designed 4 feet above that. So all these systems are going to be, you know, raised systems, and so that shouldn't be an issue. And for perkability, I believe we haven't had any problems perking any of the lots so far. So
And with having all these lots within these wetlands, will that affect the wetlands even more from just houses and people?
Our drinking water, yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's going to go through conservation. That's what they deal with, and they, you know, advise us on how to mitigate it. And the individual lots have individual filings, and likely there'll be, you know, some kind of, you know, detention system to, you know, regulate how much water comes off of these with the increased impervious. And that's just typically the process that it takes. So when we're designing that, we've taken that into consideration.
And if there were any other buildings to be built on there, not saying subdivision, but barns or garages or anything, where they would put them on the land after, you know, they own the land or whatnot, again, that's,
It still needs to go through the building department.
permit,
Yep,
okay.
yeah, any structure, accessory, you know, barn, shed, anything. If it's under 200 square feet, the shed doesn't need to go through building, but anything else, any other structure needs to have a building permit and needs to go through the same process.
okay,
Yep.
thank you,
Yep,
thank you.
you're welcome.
So now, when you were saying about this lot, you know, that it's gonna take a while for the building department and all these other departments to go through and get
Yep.
the telephone poles in. In the meantime, your crew's gonna go in and rip a monstrous hole here and leave it for almost a year.
Where are you talking?
Where the house is going.
No.
Because if you look at the lots like you talk about, if you put that house on it, they're not even gonna have it, they're gonna look like, Hale Street. They're gonna have their house, and it's gonna be nothing, because you ripped it all out. They're gonna have nothing. So we're gonna ride by big, huge nothings on that street now?
What do you mean by just like clear cut or?
Yeah, clear cut.
I mean-
Why do you cut so much when the house is going here, but you cut out this monstrous area?
I mean, I'm not the developer, that's not my call.
Do you dig the trees up?
I do not dig the trees out, no.
Who does?
The contractor typically, but, I mean, with the amount of wetlands and, with the wetlands, there's 50-foot no disturbs, so anywhere a wetland is, you cannot touch within 50 feet of that wetland. So those trees aren't going anywhere. And a lot of these houses are kind of, getting close to the wetland buffer, just the way the lots fall. So if that's the case, towards the wetlands aren't gonna be touched, so.
But my question is like
You
you,
haven't been through Concom anyway. yeah.
Correct, yeah, none of that's been decided yet. That's gonna be in the future, once we have this approved, and then once all the soil testing's done, then we submit individually.
but now the way you pointed it out, that this circle, the house has to go in here, does that mean they're gonna go in and that whole circle, and maybe now the house is gonna be there?
No, typically, what Asher does, he actually just told me this the other day. Typically, what he does is he takes a house, and we kind of mark out where it's going to be. 30 feet around it is typically what he wants to have logged, and that's pretty much it. So
That's a big circle.
that is a very big. It's 200-foot diameter, so it
Yeah.
is a big circle.
I don't
but-
wanna,
Yeah, typically with a house, septic going to be cleared. Obviously, you got to have it cleared in that area. But yeah, he typically does like 35 feet around. So.
that's the river, right,
When's the
Mike?
last time you were out there?
Last time I was out there was, I don't know, probably a month ago, something like
I
that.
think what Russ is getting at, this lot right now is flat, the entire lot.
Which one? The first one, yeah.
Not the first one, the second one.
Second one, that's,
This first one and the second one, but the second one is flat, everything, all the way to the border. Just in that,
Well, we marked out the 50-foot no disturb, so if they cut within that 50-foot no disturb, that's something that conservation's gonna have to take up with. But, we marked out the 50-foot no disturb on that lot, so if they did cut down, I'd be very surprised. But sometimes, I mean,
I'm
sometimes.
not, because
The whole lot
it's
is
gone. It's just down.
Yeah, then if it is, then, you might wanna give the Conservation, Commission a call and, have them go do an inspection and make sure that they, did everything per the plan, because that's not what we designed. We
actually,
designed,
that's not, this isn't the, it's this lot here.
The first one?
That's the first lot.
no, that's an existing lot. That's an existing lot, this is the first lot.
Oh, yeah, that's Sammy's and that's my, Glenda's.
That's gone, this, okay, so one.
That's right,
So this
that
is the
one.
one that just cut last week.
right. And it's right to the line.
Yeah, they went in here, they stayed, they didn't cut below the wetland, but this whole thing is flat.
Suggestion to the board, if I may.
Yes?
Could we list as a special condition, a condition in the special permit to offer some sort of a buffer between the neighbor and the house being built? I have not been out there, I have not seen between that 200-foot radius and then the neighbor. Trevor, is there anything that can be done?
I mean, you could issue a condition, I guess, to, hold a 100-foot buffer. That would be, yeah, definitely doable. I highly doubt they would touch anyway, just because it's such a steep slope right there. But, I mean, if the board feels that that's necessary to, continue with the project, then I'm sure that's fine. I don't think he has any intent in cutting it anyway.
Okay.
It's, what is it now, Mike,
For what?
for that area? Instead of 100, it's 50?
The,
It's 67.6 feet for the,
No, he means behind his house to
Oh,
where
okay.
the house would be built.
so front setback's 40, side setback's 25, rear is 50. So, if your house is there, I mean, typically, I
50
believe
feet
it's
behind your
40.
line.
But that's typically for structures. But
So could that be a stipulation to be checked out and looked at before it is
Before they-
approved?
Before they cut, yeah. It'd be a good idea to take a stroll by before they bring the machines
I think
down.
we should do is.
Suggestion.
Ask the planning board to have them take a look and see if there's a way to avoid having that frontage lot. You know?
What,
Up
wait,
his pencil, reduce his lots where he can and stuff like that, and
well, we're only dealing with this lot, those other lots are already approved.
no, they're not.
the,
Prove that.
They are.
There was a approval not required
Oh, they're
at the
A&R.
last
They're
planning
all
board
A&Rs.
meeting. That A&R, actually, the plan you have in front of you is one of the signed plans. So the lots were approved, however, less,
We get the letter now?
no, less the reduced frontage lot. An A&R does not need to notify abutters. The A&R just needs to simply go before a planning board meeting. And the same thing with the lots across the street.
200-foot minimum frontage.
So the reduced frontage lot requires it to be a public hearing because it is a special permit. So that's why you did receive your notification.
So if there could be some type of maybe walkthrough with a couple of us neighbors to see like where that would, if there, a stipulation could be put like that of so much from their lot, I mean, I don't really care, but, well, I do care, but we have quite a bit of space behind us in that
Trevor,
slot.
how much
But,
should the buffer be between that house so the neighbor doesn't,
I mean, currently, the way I have it sit, I believe the buffer that we have looks to be about 150 feet from the building circle.
Can that be changed to 100?
No.
Well, that's a
No,
distance.
I mean less.
What do you mean? Oh, the house has to be located in this building circle. If this building circle moves, it has to come back.
Right,
before
but what
the
I'm
board.
getting is that they're gonna cut that farmland open like that, so it looks like 2 football fields? Or can there be something that stops them, like you said?
They can do whatever they want with their lot. I mean, if you want to have the board condition a buffer, like a landscape buffer from your property, you could put a 100-foot landscape buffer, and they cannot touch within 100 feet of your property line if you want to do that.
That's over an acre or I forget what the board footage is, it requires the,
I'm sorry, could you speak into the mic? I can't hear you, Mike.
I
Sorry,
don't
Mike.
remember exactly what the limit was, but I know if it's over if it's over 1 acre or a certain amount of board feet, requires them to go before the,
Requires a what? I'm sorry.
requires them to go to the state forester. File a cutting plan with the state forester if you cut. I don't know if the 200
Yeah,
foot.
I don't know about,
Figures that or not.
that doesn't have anything to do with this, as far as the lot itself, as far as
Yeah.
cutting plans.
No, what Russ is trying to get at is he's trying to get have them not clear the entire 200 feet.
You mean from the 200 feet from
I
his
don't know
lot
how you
line
can
to the
accomplish
circle?
Right, he would like a 100-foot buffer, at
Yeah.
least from the back of his house to where they
yeah.
cut
And,
to build.
Or
and
from the
Trevor,
property
you stated
line?
it was about 150 feet from Mr. Hughes' house?
That's currently what it looks like we have the building circle from, is about 150 feet from the building.
From the
edge of
house
big
or
house.
from his property line?
That would be the 150 feet?
Yes.
That's 150 feet from the edge of the building circle to his property line.
Oh, to his property, okay, because you had said.
So,
it
I
said-
think, if they want to throw a 100-foot buffer on it, I think that'd solve a lot of problems. You probably won't be able to see through 100 feet of woods too easily, and whatever he does beyond that is up to his discretion. I mean, he could build a lot, and the guy wants to put a farm back there. I mean, he might be able to do that, and, cut the whole thing and have it be
So you're
pasture
saying-
land.
You're saying from here to here is 150 feet approximately?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because this is 200-foot diameter, so I think, halfway is a little bit more, maybe 125 feet, but.
Okay.
I go along with that.
So I know this is to, again, approve the 50-foot frontage minimum, but is there any stipulations put on that even about like clear cutting? Or does your company have any plan to clear cut a bunch of that land, to take down a bunch of trees and make a bunch of money before this lot gets even sold?
I have no association with the company that owns the lot. I am not gonna make a dime off of any of this. I just do the engineering plans, what you see before you. And so what he does beyond the scope of what I show on the plan is his business. I could tell you, he likes to cut 35 feet around what he's working with. So he needs to put the septic in, it's 35 feet around. If there's any wetlands, he can cut up to 50 feet till the no disturb area. Other than that, if he wants to go and try to make a bunch of money, he very well may be able to, but he has to go through all the processes
Yes.
to go through that.
Yes.
Exactly.
So may I,
Not sure.
may I comment?
Conservation, probably.
May I comment that any type of clear cutting of any land is through the state forester, through DCR, and they go out there, they flag wetlands, they are in control of the project. the town gets notified. And I can tell you, we have no notifications as of this moment that he has any type of forestry cutting plans on Doyle or Hitchcock on the pieces of property that he owns.
When do you plan on making your decision?
Well, as soon as everybody's done giving testimony, we close the hearing, and then we decide when we make our decision.
Of which one? That one? It's actually recorded in the Registry of Deeds.
Oh, so I can come and get it.
Yeah.
Liz doesn't have it recorded yet. She hasn't.
Oh, she
picked it up,
doesn't?
So, no, I can email you. I can
Yeah.
use your email address
I
on
think
the.
it's online.
Yes,
There's a link to
actually,
it
if you go to
online.
Town of Winchington, and if you click on the meeting calendar, you'll be able to see all tonight's information right at the top.
There's just a link you click on, the PDF comes right up, and you can
Oh,
print
all
off
right,
as many
okay.
copies
Or
as
I
you
can
want.
email it to you, either one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, would anybody else like to come up and make a comment? Okay, Nicole, do you have any other comments?
I do not have any other comments at this time.
If the board did decide to put a special condition about the 100-foot, what would you basically be saying?
To put a 100-foot buffer between the house circle presented on the plan, between the house circle and Mr. Hughes' rear property line.
I just think a better option would just be a 100-foot buffer from the rear property line. That'd
Okay.
probably be easier, rather than, because, the house circle, I'm not exactly sure what that distance is.
Okay.
So it might not be exactly, so if we just did 100-foot buffer from the property line, I think that'll be the best way to word that, and have there be no confusion.
Okay. Mr. Hughes?
Okay.
You want to come on up to the front, if you don't mind?
Yep.
Currently,
Right.
Currently, the building circle is just where the house needs to be located. They can right now cut anywhere they want.
Anyway,
Anywhere they want, but if what we're talking about right now is we could stipulate a 100-foot clearing buffer from the rear line. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, if we want to be careful the way we word it, because the rear left property corner, 100 feet off of that is going to be probably the driveway coming in.
The house.
the driveway.
Yeah, right here. So if you're talking about your rear.
If I can't, so if I got the 100, they can't put their
So-
driveway in there?
Yeah, so say it's a 100-foot offset right from here, 100
Yeah.
feet, I mean, the driveway's gonna come in like that, right here, so that would clip the driveway. So
Not my problem, man.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, we're not at liberty to even, I mean, we're trying to make things work for you so that it'll, makes
Well, work
everybody
for
happy.
us, we wouldn't have the... Why couldn't this mess been down the other end where you originally, what was it you said happened?
It
Tried to put
was,
the buffer down there. Why
no,
didn't-
the soil wasn't as good down there, unfortunately. I mean, the plan was always to have a lot up here. I mean, this was never gonna not be a part of a lot. But,
Right, but the driveway wouldn't have been there.
I mean, it almost would have
Probably would have been over here.
a little further south, but not too much further. Yeah, I can't think of a good way to word it without limiting the access
So
to
if
the
we
lot.
had that, why can't his driveway be like that? Why does it have to be, I see driveways look like that.
The driveway itself, do you have that already marked out on that plan?
I have just a
Or roughly
separate
where
plan
it
on
is?
here.
What is the distance, what would the angle be coming from the corner to the driveway?
So this is what I got right here.
Yeah.
So the driveway comes in like this. So the thing I'm worried about this 100-foot buffer is this corner. If you go
Yeah.
100 feet off, it's gonna clip this driveway right
Yeah.
here, and that's gonna limit access.
What about a 100-feet buffer with a,
Exception for access.
20, yes. That sounds as good as angling it, giving
Yeah.
a 45
With the
degree.
exception for access to the lot, I think.
How's that
Are
sound to
we,
you?
are we going to give the access a foot? Can you show me what you have on there?
Right here, this is the driveway coming in, and 100 feet is gonna clip it right here. So I think 100-foot landscape buffer with an exception for
Access
access
on the
to
corner,
lot.
corner of the lot.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
With exception for means to access, I guess. I think that's the best way to word it.
So what is this existing line? That's what I'm questioning. Instead of, if we had put the 100 thing here, and there's the driveway, and now we move it to here, what is that curved line? What is that swing?
That swing, that's to allow for a decent building area for the second lot down there. Because
For the
the,
second lot down?
yeah, correct, there's gonna be a lot right here. There's gonna be a house right here.
So I'm gonna have two houses behind me.
That was not gonna be right behind you, that's gonna be off to the left.
So this is, I thought this was gonna be 9 acres.
This one right here? It is, correct.
But I mean, now instead of, I thought there was just one lot here. Now you're saying there's two?
No, this is one lot here, this 9-acre lot right here, and then this whole thing is a 40-acre lot.
Oh, gotcha.
Trevor, would you mind showing Mr. Hughes what you showed us with the curve of the driveway, please?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Trevor's going to show you the curve of the driveway on his plan.
Yeah, so the curve of the driveway comes right in here, like this. So I think what we're gonna do, we'll put a thing in for a 100-foot landscape buffer with the exception for access, so that my client can come in and, put a driveway through. But then, as soon as he gets his access, then there will be a 100-foot buffer. I think that'd be appropriate.
From that corner.
Correct, yep.
So once you remove the landscape, Trevor, to put the driveway in to gain access to build the property, you will replace it?
What do you mean, replace it?
So,
Taken out.
so you'll just take it out just in that one little spot then?
It'll just, they'll have the ability to cut as needed for a driveway to access the lot.
Okay, just only as how much is needed?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna blow out another football field for a driveway?
Correct. Within 100 feet of your land, they're only allowed to cut at what they need to access the lot. And I think that will make things better for you guys and allow for access to the lot.
There's gonna be another one back here.
That's in the lot next to us. So and then that one goes behind us.
Yeah, that's gonna go behind us, that's this guy,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna have another one. Now, it's gonna be another driveway?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. And then he'll have all this.
Yeah, the wetlands cut right across the lot.
Now, how come you showed where this home's being built, but you're not showing where this one's?
Because it's a requirement of the A&Rs when you have a reduced frontage.
Because of the request?
Yeah,
Yes.
so the building circle has to be on the plan for the reduced frontage lot. If it's a A&R, what do you call it, A&R,
A&R, approval not required?
yeah, exactly, one of those lots, then you don't have to show it. But that bump out is created so that a house could have a little bit more room to breathe there, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, I understand it. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, do you close the
Okay, do
hearing?
we-
Okay,
what-
yeah.
Do we have any comment from the board members on anything?
No, I think the abutters have covered just about
Yeah.
all the questions that we could come up with.
Okay, and, we've hashed out the condition if we do. And do anybody in the public would like to speak before I close the hearing? Anything you need to say, Trevor, that, for consideration?
I think everything's been said.
Oh. Sure, come up.
Could you come up to the front, please?
I know that we don't have a right to vote on this, but I think most of us in agreement that we think this would not be a good idea for our backyard because we're anticipating a lot of disruption as is with the wetlands, with all the animals and everything, and this is a big hunting community. And we're losing a lot of land to a lot of construction and building. And they could have very easily have, again, I know they have the right to create this lot the way they did. That doesn't mean it's nice of them to do so with already taking up such a huge piece. And I think we all are in agreement that we wish that you would all vote no on this and keep it as is.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, I will call the hearing closed at 6:56.
If you wouldn't mind, please signing in.
So while I'm signing in, my suggestion is this. So they've got this nice, great, big 40-acre lot that abuts up against my property at 181 Hale Street. My name is Betty Ledger. I've moved here 5 years ago. I grew up in Maine. Wonderful, beautiful place. I moved to Winchendon after living in Revere, Lowell, a whole bunch of cities that I didn't like. I moved here because it reminded me of my home, Maine, the woods. I can walk out my front door. I don't have to worry about people being right behind me and looking in my windows and seeing what I'm doing every day. I don't have to worry about getting phone calls from people complaining because my husband's sawing something up in the front yard or there's something in the yard that they don't like looking at. My suggestion is, why don't they take some of that 40 acres that they're landlocking and make it conservation? Make it usable to the abutters and to the public, the people who use it now and utilize it. Make it usable to us. Don't just give it to one person and let's say, okay, here, you take this because I know what's going to happen. The minute they do that, that person's going to post that land. None of us are going to be able to use it. I guarantee it. That's my suggestion.
Nice suggestion, but I can't tell the landowner what to do with his land. You know, we're just here on a reduced frontage lot. Any other comments, questions? If not, I'll accept a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make the motion to close.
Motion made by Les. Second by Art. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. Now, the pleasure of the board is, what would be the motion if it was made to either approve or disapprove?
So in the event that the board does approve the reduced frontage lot, we will have a 50-foot buffer, a 100-foot buffer, a landscape buffer between Mr. Hughes' property and the proposed construction, with an exception of where the driveway will be installed, just for access.
Okay, very good. Any comments from the board members, questions on regards to this? You don't have any? Les?
What if we don't pass it?
That can be our pleasure. I have to say, on a special permit, you have to find a reason not to pass it. You know, it's a very great reason that, you know, it might disturb you, but you landowners can do what they want with their land, and they are following the regulations. If I could find a default in this, you know, where we could deny the special permit, but a special permit is a special permit, so you can look at the conditions and decide if there is something you need to put on it to alleviate any problems. And I think the one problem that was brought up besides, you know, you don't like the lot, but it's not our prerogative to deny it unless there's a reason to deny it, and we have to state that reason in our decision.
Correct.
This goes before the Conservation Commission now?
No, this won't go before the conservation until they decide to build on the lot.
Correct. It doesn't go before any of the boards, Conservation, Board of Health, Planning, Zoning, until there is a building permit issued to the town.
Now, this is just to create the lot.
This is just to
we're not
create a
saying if
reduced
lot
frontage
is
lot. We're not,
Buildable, not buildable.
no, in order for a lot to be buildable, it needs to perk, it needs to have potable water, and it needs to have an approved home on the lot.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, they've met all the standards. And again, as standard 13, only one reduced frontage lot may be created from the applicable lots, and that is what's happening in this case, and that's why they were allowed to do the one reduced frontage lot. So, I will entertain a motion to approve the reduced frontage lot with conditions as stated, or to reject the application for the reduced frontage lot. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the reduced frontage lot with stipulations as stated.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded. Any more discussion on this? As I said, you know, if we could do reject it, if we had a reason, but there is no reason besides that the abutters don't like it. Now, I mean, that's a great reason, but it's not a legal reason, and we have to have a legal reason. So, if I have no other questions, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye, so it is approved with the condition. Thank you very much. Okay, nothing else on the agenda besides adjournment. And thank you very much for your input. I wish we could do something more, but planning is rules.
Conservation Commission can do more.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Amanda, I saw your mouth moving. Anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.